everyone. Very good morning to you. Welcome to Today on this Juneteenth Friday morning.
We're commemorating Juneteenth. That's a live look at Galveston, Texas.
We cannot talk about Juneteenth without talking about celebration through food.
Today marks Juneteenth, a national holiday that the fake news media embraces, and one that Democrats are trying to make a thing, but one that most everyday Americans struggle to even define. But then again, neither does the president, who permanently established it as a federal holiday.
He's going down to Texas on Juneteenth, right? The first major massacre, literally speaking, of the Black Wall Street, right? Years ago.
And the president, who went his 2 full terms barely acknowledging Juneteenth himself, panders to the public by opening his presidential center today. It's only been 5 years since Biden officially made this a national holiday to observe. And according to recent polls, only 18% of voters consider Juneteenth as an important holiday. So I got to ask you, Joel, because I think people just don't really know what Juneteenth is. Do they need to do a better campaign to explain, like, okay, we've...
Yeah, I mean, Juneteenth is a holiday
slavery.
Celebrating the end of slavery in a legitimate way in Texas, and it has been celebrated in many African-American communities, primarily in the country. And I think it's a holiday we need to learn about and we need to celebrate, because the Civil War, slavery, that has left an indelible mark in our society. And the more that we can remember it and educate our kids, who need a lot of education on this, the better.
Tony.
I'm all for education. I live in a very small town, Edenton, North Carolina, Chowan County. We have issues because we have a fight over a monument right now. So I think it's important to have a factual debate and discussion about what it was. With that said, I had no idea that today was a holiday. I literally came up to Washington for meetings. I tried to park here locally.
Yeah,
it's like I had no idea.
I literally went to the post office to drop off wedding invitations, and I was like trying to break down the door. I thought the cops weren't there. Alex, it was June 19th, 1865. Union troops arrived in Galveston, Texas, and announced General Order Number 3, which finally freed the enslaved people in the state more than 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. You're a Texan.
Yeah. I grew up not far from Galveston. I think it's great. I think it's one of those things when Joel was talking about history, you know, I think about the whole statue debate that we've gone through as a country.
Still going.
I don't like erasing history. I think we need to educate the young about it, and this is a perfect example of how to do that. And maybe it would help bring our country more together, you know, and talk about the past, learn from it, rather than try to erase it.
And actually, Texas became the first U.S. state to make Juneteenth an official holiday. This was back in 1990. Foldy, you're celebrating Juneteenth today. He usually has like house parties all the time.
I have a party going on at my house right now that my friends said we're going to have a Juneteenth party. I don't think it should be necessarily a federal holiday. It's ridiculous that there's no one working right now. It affected all of our day jobs here. But I do think that it's amazing that the left is celebrating the amazing work that the first Republican president, Abraham Lincoln, did to end slavery. I think that Democrats should embrace the great work that Republicans do all the time. Do I think that we should have federal holidays, days off work for it? I don't necessarily think so.
I always say, like, you know, the first African Americans in Congress that were elected were Republicans.
A lot of amazing history, great things that Republicans did that we should all celebrate.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.